So we've got here a game against the party. Take a look at the board. Witch is obviously a very important card. It's a cursor. Duke is important to consider as an alternative victory point option. Want to look and see what can trash. The only trasher is Forge, which is not really a very good trasher. There is some engine potential because we got a workers' village and a couple drawers. So I want to think a little bit about building in that direction. Obviously the first priority is to get a witch as soon as possible. And to that end, I purchased a smithy. Kind of the goal here is to get myself a witch relatively early, and after that start considering mechanisms for getting some actions to build an engine of some kind, and hopefully get a forge relatively soon. So that forge would not just be able to clear out any curses that he's giving to me, but also clear out the coppers in the estates and those sorts of things to make the engine hum a little bit better. So he got a pretty good run of cards right there. It's pretty much ideal for him. I'm going to play my smithy. I think there's some concern that it'll draw my witch dead, which would be really unfortunate, but I don't really want to waste the smithy, and the best I could do with 4 is purchase a workers' village, which I do want eventually, but which is, honestly, that's great. Now let's get a forge. It does unfortunately mean my witch is going to miss the shuffle. If I'd really been thinking about it, I would have accounted for that. It's not a great draw for him. He's got 9 to spend there. I think really the ideal move is for him to get another witch in another workers' village, so he can really start things going. Because he might consider getting a forge. He says he's considering platinum. Platinum, I think, is an okay move, but I think it's really more important to get your deck in better shape, and the platinum is not really very important for that. So here, I could play my smithy, but that would cause a reshuffle, which I don't really want. So instead, I will forge all of that. I now have 2 witches, so having this third smithy as a terminal drawer is not that important to me. I'd much rather have another village. So that's pretty nice. Decisions here. So I could get another witch, and really hope to churn it out for another curse, but there's only 6 curses left, and 3 witches in my deck is not a fantastic circumstance. The one other thing to consider is that if I were to draw it in a hand with Forge and 2 estates, then I can turn all that into a platinum. So purchasing higher value cards when I have the Forge in the hand is something definitely worth thinking about. None of the other 5s are particularly good, so I don't want to buy down. So I think I will buy the Witch. I'm not sure that's the right decision, but we'll see. So I really hope that my next card here is a Witch, otherwise this is a pretty wasted hand. See, that's not really that helpful. I do want to get rid of those coppers, but I don't want to get rid of them that badly. But I think I really want to spend at 3, so it's a bit of a wasted hand right there. And see, again, both of them witches miss the shuffle. I've gotten kind of burned by that a couple times here. which did. That was just terrible, because again, these are all the cards that I wanted to be able to forge, which I'm unlikely to be able to do. I'll probably, well, we'll see, but I don't have any drawing cards in this last 5, so that's pretty rough. So we have 2 estates, which cost 4. There's not any particularly nice forge targets there either. I guess I'm going to forge these 2 estates. At this point, I've got a couple villages, I've got 3 witches. I really just think I need another workers' village. Now the question is, I'm pretty short on money because I've cut out some of the copper from my deck, so I have to consider buying another silver here. The other alternative is to hope that I can forge stuff into platinum later, but I think being able to purchase a platinum on my next turn, hopefully, is probably more important, so I'll do that. Finally, my big set of witches became very important. It's kind of what I was hoping to get going on the whole time. So now I have a choice with 8. Really wish I could have got to 9. But there you go. I think I have another workers' village. I got a forge in there, and probably another curse. It's the 3 cards that I'm missing. So I actually couldn't have got to 9. So that's definitely a consideration, is that I just do not have enough money right now, so I think that means I gotta purchase the gold. So I'm definitely going to want to forge. Probably the most important thing is to clear out curses from my deck. So I'm going to draw as much as possible here. Okay, so it's not great, but it's not the worst. I'm definitely going to forge the curse and the estate and the copper, and that all adds up to 2. If I forge those with the witch, it'll turn into another forge, which is not helpful. If I forge all that with the silver, turn it into a 5-cost card, which again is not really very good. I don't really like either of those options. But I gotta definitely want to clear them out from my deck, so I'm gonna get a treasury, not because I particularly want the treasury, but just because it's a cantrip, which is important for my deck at this point, and it's a forge target for later, hopefully. So he's got quite a bit more money than I do, which means his endgame is certainly a lot better. I do have a slightly tighter deck, but it's such a disadvantage on, again I missed 9, it's devastating. It's such a disadvantage on my purchasing power that it'll be really rough for me. So one thing to consider here is, rather than purchasing a gold, I could get smithy, maybe another workers' village to really ramp up my ability to draw. I want to consider a 3-pile ending, because if the game draws on too long, he'll be able to, for sure, outclass me. So depleting some of these other piles might actually be sort of useful, allow me to sneak out a win at the end. I don't think that's a good option. I think he's in a pretty dominant position right now, but it's a chance. Okay, I'm finally getting into drawing my whole deck sort of circumstances. So I think probably I'm going to want to forge all of this, curses, copper, and silver, just into another gold. So I'm going to play the witch, allow myself to draw the full deck. Okay, so another option is forge that witch along with the silvers and the copper and the curse and get myself a colony. That would really wipe out my purchasing potential, and I don't particularly want to do that right now, so I think I will the other thing to consider is whatever I do forge, I'll be able to draw with my witch. So if I get a gold, then I can purchase another gold, which will give me some decent purchasing potential, and I'll pretty much just draw my whole deck from here on out. So the real issue at this point is just to try and keep him from getting too much of a lead in the green to prevent me from having any chance to catch up. So I definitely want to think about forging Workers' Village and Witch into Platinum. Which I again can draw with my Witch. So that lets me get a colony, another Workers' Village, because I'm going to want to pretty much do that same thing again next turn. So he again has a colony, which means he continues to be slightly ahead there. That's not ideal for me, not ideal at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and even it back up on colonies, get the last of these Workers' Villages. So he still has 2 estates in his deck, and he has 6 curses. That's surprising. I thought that he would have cleared that out quite a bit more. So that's actually pretty good for me. That means if we just stay level, I'm in pretty good shape. So at this point I could forge a witch and a gold into a colony and then purchase another colony. And that would be pretty good shape for me. That would put me up 2 colonies with only 2 left, and I don't think he'd be able to get the last 2. So it would put my deck into a little bit worse shape, but it's worth the gamble for sure. There's only the 1 colony left. If he were to get the colony right now, he's up, I think, 4 estates. There's 4 in the trash, so he has 2 of his originals. He's purchased 2 more. He's got a duchy, so that's 7 points. And he has 6 curses, so he's up by 1 point if he's able to get that last colony. But if I can purchase anything, this deck, it'll limit that. So I can just forge the colony and then purchase a duchy, and I think I'm good. Alright. Yeah, so in some sense, this game is a pretty good lesson on the importance of cursing and cleaning out the deck quite a bit. He had a lot more money than me, and he really had an engine that was moving along quite a bit better than me for a while. But when I hit all those curses at the end and really devoted some time to cleaning things out in my deck, I think it made a substantial difference. So hope that helps everyone. Thanks for watching.